Okay, minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats episode 31. I felt like this episode is a little bit weird. It almost seems like they are trying to build the story of Tycoon, but at the same time, they actually kill him off by the end of this episode, which is how are you gonna build the story of Tycoon if you actually kill him off by the end of this episode? And they focus so much on Tycoon this episode, and then suddenly they shift the attention entirely on the next episode towards the battle between Buffa and Ukyo S. So I'm gonna talk about Ukyo S and Buffa fight at a later video, maybe in the episode 32 trailer breakdown, preview breakdown, something like that. But right now I want to talk more about what actually happened in episode 31. And the first thing we actually saw what happened in this episode is Archimedo is actually feeding part of his body to the fish Jyamato itself, and we actually get to see the fish Jyamato actually regenerate. His entire body got regenerated, something like that. And one thing we need to understand, and one thing we learned in episode 31 that is like really interesting, is that even Nash Sparrow say this. Nash Sparrow actually say like the reason why human and Jyamato is actually in a battle with one another is all because of the goddess of creation. It is all because of the game created by the DGP itself. So in a sense, in the perspective of Sparrow, he would actually deem that Jyamato doesn't actually want to kill human being. Like we never see any Jyamato eat human at all. Like they are only sent out there to slash and kill the human. They never see them getting eaten by the Jyamato itself. So it almost makes no sense for the Jyamato to actually hunt down human being unless they are being ordered to, or they are being forced by either the DGP or right now the Jyamato Grand Prix itself. But after what happened in this episode, we actually get to see the fish Jyamato by the end of this episode actually kind of like cook up an appetite for human flesh, and he wanted to eat Archimedo, and he actually eat him the entirety of the breeder. So no more breeder, and right now there is only Archimedo inside like I'm not sure whether or not the breeder is actually in control right now, or is it the fish Jyamato is actually in control of the body of the breeder. I felt like it is actually the fish Jyamato rather than the breeder itself. No, I felt like Archimedo actually loses his own life due to his own personal love towards the Jyamato itself. And this actually is something that I actually spoke of in the previous episode breakdown. I actually talked about how like Archimedo feeding a part of him towards the Jyamato is actually a bad idea, and this is gonna create the a thirst for blood from the Jyamato itself. So this is definitely very bad news for humanity, and Jyamato right now is gonna become the thing that humanity need to stop. The humanity need to stop them, need to take them out, and this no longer is a design by the DGP or by the Jyamato Grand Prix right now. It is a reality. It has become a reality, and that is something I really love about this story, and that is how everything actually links to one another. Remember how Niram is so obsessed in finding the reality of this world, reality of this age in this era, something like that. When he saw Buffa got like became dead and come back to life, he at first he said that this is a bug, I must eliminate it. But when he saw Buffa like surviving his attack once more, he said that this is real, this is what this real world actually looks like, and you are part of this real world. He accepted that. And one of the lies from the DGP itself is that Jyamato wants to hunt human, but right now that lie became a reality after what Archimedo did to the fish Yamato. Whether or not the fish Yamato is gonna like live long enough to become kind of like the final villain of the show is also another big question. Okay, like how is the fish Yamato gonna move on from right now? One thing we know is that he now possesses the body and the mind of Archimedo the breeder, so he would definitely know how to create more Yamato. And this is definitely dangerous, because if if we call this fish Yamato the king or maybe the queen Yamato, he would every single offspring that is created by this Yamato is gonna have a craving for human blood, is gonna have a craving for human flesh as well. So this is something that is gonna be really interesting moving forward, and it is already stated in the name itself, Jyamato. Jyamato is the one who blocks, the one who interferes, and this is definitely hinting at us and already telling us that Jyamato is gonna be the final villain of the show. And I'm just gonna stand firm on this belief. It is not gonna be the DGP, it is not gonna be the Jyamato Grand Prix, it is not gonna be anyone from the future people, but the final villain is gonna be a Jyamato. And I heard a lot of rumors saying that the final villain of Kamen Rider Geats is gonna be a rider, something like that. It still can be a rider based on the speed and the speed and the speed of the Yamato to improve, something like that. Who is to say that in the future, like in the near future of Kamen Rider Geats episode, we are actually gonna see a Yamato that is able to henshin into a rider? We already saw Jama Rider existing. What is to say that they are able to kind of like create a new core ID core or something like that? We do not know. This is all really interesting to me to actually speculate. So, but I'm just gonna move on, okay? Because the Archimedo and the fish Yamato is not the only thing that happened in this episode. The second thing that we learned in this episode that is really surprising for me is how does the goddess of creation actually got the power to kind of like make wish come true. And all of that requires energy. Every single thing requires energy. When you want to start a car, you need the petrol inside the car to fuel the entire car itself. Like, just imagine human, okay? Like us, in order for us human to operate normally, we need blood flowing all over our body, and that without the blood we are not gonna be able to function normally. Some parts of our body might actually have some skin diseases or something like that because of poor circulation, something like that. All of that is really is what I'm trying to say here. The goddess of creation requires a fuel to power herself, to power the idea of a wish. So I'm thinking to myself here, like, how does Mitsune actually collects all of those energy, all of those human life into herself when she actually make the first wish to create Ukyo S? Because I felt like this is really interesting, because how do I say this? Mitsune actually fall in love, like I said in the previous episode breakdown. No, I did not say this in previous episode breakdown. I say this is in one of the comment. I actually say that I have a theory, okay, is that Mitsune fall in love with a present day human, which is the people, someone from Roman Empire, something like that. It could actually be Julius Caesar, we do not know. But what if Air's father is actually Julius Caesar, and then Mitsune is, you know, like the girl that from the future who fall in love with Julius Caesar, and she desire to actually have a kid with Julius Caesar, something like that. So maybe like, but I don't know what is the mechanic. Like, the future people is so advanced in their technology, they definitely know how to create certain way to collect human life as fuel to make wish come true, something like that. And that is definitely what Mitsune did, okay? She utilized the technology from the future in the past and used the human life to create a philosopher's stone or something like that to make wish come true. And that is like, wow, damn, I just said it myself, and I am mind blown myself, because the Philosopher's Stone is exactly what the goddess of creation is right now. The Philosopher's Stone is created by human blood, by sacrificing human life to create Philosopher's Stone. So and we now see in episode 31 all the people who loses their life in the DGP or even in Jyamato Grand Prix is gonna be used as fuel to charge the wishes itself. So you might be asking to yourself, like, when the rider wins, the human is gonna get resurrected. So what's the deal? Okay, like, what's the deal? Because like if they got resurrected, then how come, like, you know, like, how come, like, how did their life got used as a fuel if they got resurrected at the end of the day? Imagine this, like, when you are killed in the DGP, your soul is already being converted into an energy source for the goddess of creation, something like that. And even, I would assume, even the Jyamato, when the Jyamato die, the Jyamato is also gonna get converted into energy for the goddess of creation as well. So both the human and Jyamato is gonna be fused together, like, and is gonna be inputted into the goddess of creation as a fuel for the wish itself. When she created the wish, and I would say maybe there's kind of like a criteria, certain wish is definitely gonna come true. Like, the main wish is definitely gonna be the wish that the Desashin actually wishes for, but after that, like, there's like certain thing that is always gonna be done. Like, if the rider win, human is gonna get resurrected. If Jyamato win, the Jyamato is gonna get resurrected, something like that. So and by resurrecting them, the goddess of creation is actually using the fuel that is already inside of her to resurrect all those human beings. So you could actually say, if you die in DGP before, you are technically a creation of goddess of creation as well. So technically speaking, like, you know, like, if, just imagine it, if Tycoon actually die in this episode and come back in the next episode, it would actually means that now Tycoon is similar to Nago, similar as Nago, in a sense that both of them are already dead, and both of them are actually created by the goddess of creation, something like that. So all of this is just my theory, just my speculation. Feel free to chip in the comment section below, because god damn it, this episode, it really dropped a huge Nani the F bomb for all of us when we learn that the goddess of creation actually requires certain power to, like requires human soul to be sacrificed as fuel for the Jyamato, for the DGP wishes, something like that. Okay, so that is really big Nani the F. But I would say, like, one thing that I really felt a little bit interesting is that the way S find out that Mitsune is actually the goddess of creation, seems like he actually just put 2 and 2 together based on the hint that Beroba, Buffa, and Sparrow actually give him, something like that. And Sparrow is actually the one that confirmed with Ukyo S that, hey, your mom is indeed the goddess of creation, something like that. So that is, well, pretty alright. But I felt like the reaction is a little bit lacking. Like, the way they choose to go about it actually shows that S is actually very calm. Like, he has a lot of questions, yes, but he doesn't seem so shocked at all, something like that. Okay, so very interesting stuff. And the next thing we want to talk about is definitely Kewa, our boy that, for some weird reason, we thought that this is gonna be his arc. This is gonna be where he gets all the attention for the episode, for the next few episodes. He's gonna be the main boy of the series, but suddenly out of nowhere he was deleted. So that is what just happened. But we also get to see Kewa in this episode. So we actually start to know more about what Kewa's view of War Peace actually is. For him, Kewa's worldview on War Peace is finding happiness in wherever you are. And that is something that I really see Kewa as an amazing person is, because if you really think about it, Kewa as a person doesn't actually need the DGP or the Jyamato Grand Prix at all. Like even when he first joined the DGP, like he doesn't know what to actually wishes for, so he just wrote down War Peace because he himself doesn't have any desire. He doesn't have any desire to that he needs to fulfill something like that. So I would say why he was being chosen to join the DGP is because of what he said during the interview with what Gin Pen, I think, if not mistaken. Like he said that I wishes for war peace, something like that, and that actually caught the attention of Kekera, I would say. So yeah, so Keiwa doesn't actually requires the DGP at all. Like in this episode, we actually get to see that when Keiwa talks to the sister, he says something that actually caught my attention. He said that as long you are happy, anything will do, something like that. Okay, so it almost seems like Keiwa's view on War Peace is not what we thought it is. Okay, like it almost seems like Keiwa's worldview of War Peace is everyone being happy, but in order for everyone to be happy, there is a risk for someone to be sad as well. Because like what if I am happy only when I see someone else suffer, something like that. So that is a little bit extreme, I know, my example, but that is just an example I wanted to give to help you think what am I talking about here, especially with how Keiwa's view on War Peace is actually quite like naive in a sense, something like that. But by the end of this episode, I do not know why after he learned all the truth, he actually shouted at S. He was angry at S, and S doesn't actually is at fault here. Like he is definitely not at fault. It is not his fault that his mom chose to give birth to him, choose to wish for a son, something like that. That is not a sin that Ukyo S actually needs to bear. But for some weird reason, Keiwa shouted at S, something like that. But I would definitely say like maybe there's just Keiwa overacting, especially after so many things happening before that. Like he saw the sister almost die, he saw so many citizens almost die. Obviously he is on edge. Okay, he is on edge, and that is really interesting. But I would say one of the most amazing thing that I like in this episode is Keiwa witnessing the ugliness of humanity. Humanity is willing to push other people into a downfall just to save themselves, and that is what we saw in the schoolgirl, the JK girl in this episode. He put, like, in order for him to survive, he actually pushed someone into another hole, and that is really ugly. And let me tell you, that is also the truth of humanity. When humanity like got like is really in a pinch, when you're facing a life and death situation, you are gonna see the truth of that particular human itself, and Keiwa just witnessed that from this woman itself. So is he gonna change his perspective, his view on humanity, something like that? We do not know, because he freaking died. Why did he even die by the end of this episode? I don't know, man. I really do not know. But I would say that is all from me from episode 31 of Kamen Rider Geats. I have a lot more ideas to talk about, but we just have to save that for episode 32 of Kamen Rider Geats. Okay, we need to. I'm gonna make a trailer video for those who is a long time viewer for my channel. You know what I'm talking about. But tomorrow, in the morning, I will be streaming live. I will be building Kamen Rider build. I already have a build here with me right now. I'm just doing a little bit of promotion on my live, because I'm not actually sure like what time is the best time for me to stream to all of you guys. But if there is a time that you prefer me to stream, let me know in the comment section below. I'll definitely try to see whether or not I can stream during that time or not. And the hardest thing for me right now is my weekends is very packed, and I know weekends is actually kind of like the best time to stream, and yet my weekend is like super duper busy. So weekdays will be the best for me, like weekends night or something like that. We can work this out, okay? We can find a time where all of us can enjoy one another's company together. And tomorrow I will try to go live as early as possible, or maybe I'll try to go live during the night, because I actually tried to go live previously to actually build the DIY camera, and no one showed up. Okay, no one showed up, none of you guys showed up. What the hell, where are you guys? Okay, so but maybe I'll try to stream tomorrow night, you know, like then, and I will see how things goes. If you guys are here to support me for when I go live, I'll maybe I'll just try to do night stream more to yeah, you know, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yep, that is all from me. It is 20 minutes already. I don't want to like waste any more of your time. I want to respect your time. So that is all. Hope you enjoy. Comment the word soba in the comment section below to let me know you actually finished the entire video. The reason why soba is the word today is because tanuki soba and our tanuki boy has just become bubble. Goodbye and hope you enjoy.